New this morning at 5:02, the American Federation of Government Employees, the union that represents TSA agents, says it will fight the privatization push at several airports, including Des Moines. Earlier this week, the airport announced plans to transition to TSA Gold Plus, which would put private contractors in control of airport security screenings. The union says the move is a major step backwards and ignores the lessons learned in the wake of the 9/11 attacks. The union went on to say the proposal puts the safety of flying in jeopardy.
A new CEO has been named for the Iowa 80 Group, the company that owns the world's largest truck stop over in Walcott. Delia Moon Meyer will take over the role from her brother, Will Moon, who died unexpectedly last week at the age of 64. In a statement, Moon Meyer said in part, quote, "I am dedicated to continuing to build upon the strong foundation that our family has established over the last 60 years.
Yesterday, the U.S. House passed a bill banning Congress members from trading individual stocks. The Stop Insider Trading Act would prohibit members of Congress, their spouses, and their dependent children from buying any new stocks. But it would allow lawmakers to keep the stocks they already own. The bill also includes a provision requiring voters to provide ID in order to vote. Republicans combined the stock ban bill with a voter ID provision requiring voters to show that physical photo ID and absentee or mail-in voters to attach a photocopy of their ID. Some Democrats called the bill a sham. One administration committee Democrat says the provision has nothing to do with stock trading. And all four of Iowa's representatives voted in favor of the bill, with Representative Zach Nunn saying in part, quote, "The House finally acted on an issue that should not be partisan. Iowans are tired of the double standard in Washington. Public office is a public trust, and now it's time for the Senate to finish the job."
New this morning, this year's first confirmed case of the fungal disease southern rust has been found here in the state of Iowa. Last year, Iowa had its worst southern rust outbreak in more than 30 years. Some farmers last year lost more than 30 bushels per acre of corn. Right now, it's been confirmed in Benton County. Additional samples from Muscatine and Louisa counties are likely positive. However, experts say it's not time to panic just yet.
We are now in what is called R2, which is the blister stage. We have a few fields that are in R3, which is the milk stage. Once the plants get beyond the milk stage, they're far enough along, it's really not going to have that much of a negative influence.
Iowa State University estimates most Iowa corn will enter that milk stage around August 7th.
The Iowa Farm Bureau released a report sharing a concerning trend in the Iowa ag economy. The new report, titled "The Pressure is Rising," shows a nearly 53% drop in income for farmers since 2022. Christopher Pudens with the Iowa Farm Bureau says a lot of that pressure is coming from increased competition from countries who have seen an uptick in ag production. High inflation is another factor that led to some expensive crop costs, with the cost of corn going up 37% since 2021.
Imagine that you have a household income of $100,000. Over a 3-year period, that $100,000 became $47,000.
The Iowa Farmers Union says if an updated version of the Farm Bill were to pass through Congress, that would help alleviate some of the issues. It's now 5:06, and the University of Iowa is working on a forecasting system that could predict nitrate levels more ahead of time.
Yeah, NASA is funding the IIHR hydroscience and engineering, if I can get my words right, for this research. And they are partnering with Cedar Rapids, with Iowa City, and also Des Moines Waterworks. Local 5's Emma Stroner is live in studio this morning after learning more about how this system works. Emma?
Well, it's going to integrate NASA satellites into existing water monitoring systems here in Iowa. Project leader Jesus Gomez-Velez says we already have a good network of nitrate sensors here, but this is going to make it so they can make predictions from the areas that we currently can't right now. From there, Gomez-Velez hopes anyone, anywhere in the world can see real-time nitrate predictions in Iowa's rivers. However, that is by year 3 of this project. He says right now his team is focused on developing the tools and training the models, and then in year 2 they will test those models and work with public water utilities to see how exactly the predictions will fit in their operations. Gomez-Velez says through this process they will also learn more about what's driving our state's consistently high nitrate levels.
As we are developing them, we are also learning about the system. We are learning about the factors that drive high concentrations, the atmospheric conditions that will drive high concentrations, the land use conditions that will drive high concentrations, or all these sort of physical and biochemical factors that can potentially affect the concentrations in rivers.
So specifically, researchers are working on two products, one that predicts 1 to 7 days out and one that predicts 4 to 8 weeks out. Gomez-Velez says that will give public water utilities more time to plan ahead and adjust for whatever levels are coming later down the line. We also spoke with Des Moines Waterworks, who is one of the partners on this project. Coming up in 30 minutes, we'll share how they think this is going to directly affect Des Moines and Iowa residents. Dana?
Emma, thank you. It's now 5:08 and it is day 5 of Ragbry. Today, riders will travel roughly 87 miles from Marshalltown to Independence. On their journey, they will pass through Green Mountain, Beeman, Grundy Center, Morrison, Rhinebeck, Washburn, Gilbertville, and Jessup. And Local 5 has been following the riders as they make their journey across the state. Yesterday, we had crews in Nevada, or should we say Nevada, for the day.
Yeah, I find this interesting. We first told you last week how the town of Nevada was turning a common mispronunciation into a celebration. For one day only, Nevada, Iowa became Nevada, Iowa, with a full Las Vegas-themed celebration. Now, cyclists were greeted by casino-themed decorations, live entertainment, Elvis impersonators. There were even officiants out there on site to perform elopements. One couple who traveled here from California for Ragbry took the opportunity to renew their vows.
Well, our 20th anniversary is just coming October, and
we renewed our vows on Ragbry.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, why not?
It actually did get a little teary-eyed. It was quite special.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Also, I love that they're matching, so you could tell why they've been married for so long. Now, city leaders say that the community fully embraced the city name change, and everyone had a blast poking some fun at a very common mispronunciation. Happens all the time, doesn't it?
And that's a way to just never forget a pass through town. I feel like oftentimes we remember the overnight stops, but that's something you never forget. So good for Nevada. I keep getting it confused now, going back and forth. Good for Nevada to do that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.